With PPI coming in as arguably one of the best reports that we've had of almost all time. The question now is, can we get the continuation? Because again, the table is set. The options are prepared. The lamb is sitting there. It's time for the last supper, if you will, of this bear market. That's the major question, because tomorrow could be the icing, right? It could be the cherry topping of the cake of the sundae. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're getting to. The technicals, fundamentals. Let's get to it. First thing off rip we're talking about here, PPI, as you can see, plummeted to 2.7%. We already had CPI come out good. Now CPI core, we talked heavily about that in the previous video. Right, we know the issues there. We're going to worry about that when we need to worry about it. But for right now, for the day traders over the next few weeks, week or two minimum, right? This is what we have to be concerned with. We got to worry about what's in front of us. We have a long-term projection and we have a short-term projection. That's what we have to balance here, right? I give you the unbiased viewpoint on both sides. So let's attack what we're talking about here, okay? Now, when we go to this calendar, we look what's happening. First of all, today was big. We had some job reports and then PPI. Now, over the past 2 weeks, job reports have been favorable, okay? And I don't really care what you say. They have been, okay? So jobless claims rose once again. Good news. Continuous jobless claims rose, still good, right? Very close expectations. Initial jobless claims are the ones that beat. That's what we're worried about. The core PPI, right? Core CPI, not so good. But what did we tell you yesterday? We said, if we're looking at CPI and PPI, and everyone's always concerned about what's the data going to show us, what's going to happen. If we look at the data over the past 12 months, over past 15 months, right? Year and a quarter, year and a half. I don't really care what you look at. CPI is always tougher to beat than PPI. I could count maybe one time over the past year that PPI had come out higher than expected when CPI beat. That being said, let me give you a clarification. PPI is always cooler than CPI. You have to understand that. We've talked about this. We know this, right? We're prepared. We're looking at the data. We're looking at the analytics. So we're not shocked when the market gives us this opportunity today. And we took full advantage of it. But again, like I told you on Twitter today, shields up, boys. We gotta be safe. We gotta be defensive. Okay. Now we need to start talking about these charts and ultimately where we're going here. And before we get into that, I have to ask you to consider doing two things. Consider liking and subscribing. That's all I'm gonna say. Every single day we make those videos. We make a video going over the market, fundamentals, technicals, everything in between. People, you hate it, you love it. It doesn't really matter, because every day I'm gonna tell you what I think. Now maybe the videos have a little clickbait, but when you get inside the videos, you cannot spot one lie, right? You cannot spot anything that I've said, that I've taken back, that I reverted on. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I come out clean about it. That's the beauty of this channel. Transparency at its peak. That's all we care about. We don't care about being right. We would love to be right. We love making money. But we care about transparency and honesty with you, the viewer. That's the ultimate goal of this channel. Also, too, right now, we don't have any spots available in Discord. We're capped out right now, okay? Both tiers are there. But guess what? You can join the wait list now. This is the way we're going to be doing it going forward. We might open them up at the beginning of the month, but the wait list will ensure that you get your spot. And so you won't be charged anything off rip unless we let you in immediately, which some people we do. If we know you, I know favoritism's here, so be it, right? Let's get to the chart. So what I want to talk about, I'm going to zoom in here, but let's talk about what's happening, okay? And I read all your comments down below. I read them all. First of all, I would love to know, did you expect PPI to beat today? I mean, from the channel, I don't know how you wouldn't have expected PPI to come out better since PPI had already beaten. Now, I will say a little bit of a surprise that core did so well, but nevertheless, still a great day, still great reading. And I'll also like to know, did you pay attention to what we said yesterday? Because as we look at this trend, we're going to come back here. But what did we say yesterday, right? You're not bearish unless you hold below 12,950. Why? It's your February high. That's all you need to know. Your February high is coming back all the way over here. As you can see right there, February 2nd, February 3rd. Boom. That was it. As you progress, you can see that is a level we continue to hold. We said we have some concerns. If today the information comes out bad, if banks come out bad, when do you look to go short? If you break below 12.95. Until then, you got to be a bull. You got to be expecting upside. You got to be looking for the upside pressure. Okay, that's what we said. Okay, you come into this market, you get a market open, even pre-market, right? You had your opportunity if you wanted it. If you had the opportunity all day yesterday as well. Even at market open, right? Market open, you still could have got in around 13,000, 200 points of upside a day. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Now, let's dive a little bit deeper here. What are we looking at here? And what I want to do is I want to zoom out. Before I go too far, before I lose anybody, before I want to work like I tell you guys when we're looking at the charts. I want you to just take a quick visual here, okay? Just humor me for a second. When we look at the market, okay, we have to identify structures in which we're in. And we just did a webinar in the Discord that was not for mentors, it was actually for everybody for free yesterday. And we were talking about market structure. And if you were in there, then you heard what we talked about here. Because if you look at this, we've continually been making lower lows and lower highs. This was last year, 2022, as you can see here, right? Continually. But all of a sudden, things started to change in October going into December. As you can see on Nasdaq, we make higher lows and continue to move up here. And we've been kind of in this structural trend for almost 6 months now, even if you don't admit it. Since October, that's been kind of how we are. Where I flip bullish is when we started pushing back here at 11.7, started making higher highs, right? And so when we look at this structurally, that's how we're moving. That's why we have to say the fundamentals, yeah, there's a lot of concerns, but the technicals are telling us things look good, right? You can't get too bearish here. And if we look at the moves from last year in comparison to this year, for all the bears out there, I want to be transparent. I want to be unbiased. So both sides of this, right? If we look at it, look at the selling that we're getting, minimal. Minimal. And again, you're gonna be like, well, Tyler, that's a lot of points. I'm just saying, look at the selling from last year, January, April, August and September, even a little more heavier in December. Okay. But much bigger last year than compared to this year. Why? Because it was news oriented, right? It wasn't shocking. It was, this news lately has been, yes, some bad news about inflation and things coming out, but it hasn't been any big statements from Powell saying we're going to continue to raise rates. Right? We're going to raise 0.5, 0.75. It hasn't been that. Now the talk has shifted more towards a pause, which again, I'm not saying we're entrenched. Yesterday's video, we went heavily into that, right? I loved really hearing the comments there, but it's important that we realize that the news now has shifted greatly from the news last year. But the concern is still there. If oil continues to rise and hold at these levels, the next CPI report will not be good. Right? We understand that. Same with PPI, most likely. We understand what will happen there. But we can't worry about a month from now. We got to worry about how to make money right now. Because I know at the end of the day, that's all you care about. Is how do I make money now? Right? Where's the opportunity now? And that's why you come to option drops, is to get that viewpoint. And so that's what we're talking about. Now, that's what we're looking at here. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you as it is right now. We had this kind of lower high trend. You were finding support. We broke out today. I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah. Strap up, boys. Women, you too. If you continue, if tomorrow bank earnings don't completely flop, okay, United Healthcare also tomorrow, UNH, one of the biggest holdings in Dow, probably top 5 out of, I'm almost positive, has earnings. I'm telling you, the rally will begin. Right? I'm telling you right now, upside targets, what are they? Right? Where's our next big level here on the daily as we zoom out? 13.7.4. Okay. I would argue 13.5.5 into that level will start to get tough. Okay. Yeah, about 13.5 minimum. Okay. So you have at least 300 points more of upside if this continues. Okay. So I would say be up a little bit early. Let's see how we report, right? I might be live in the morning, so make sure, check your YouTube. I might do a surprise live in the morning, so make sure you check it out because we're going to be focused on that. But that's got to be the goal, guys. That's got to be the goal, is that we're pushing up there. If we get this continuation, we keep going, and we get the news we need, you will get that. Why? Because the pause is the focus of the Fed now. Today, that's what we're pricing in now from the PPI and CPI reports, is a pause to come, which I think we probably get a 0.25 still, but I think a pause by summer happens. I've been saying that since November. That's the focus right now. We gotta keep our eyes on the prize here, okay? Eyes on the prize. I want to talk about Bookmap. I want to talk about what's happening over here. Okay, I want to talk about where we're going here. Remember yesterday, what did we signal? What did we talk about? Go watch that video. Those icy orders, those big orders coming in there, right? Big boy orders coming into the market. All day buying pressure, every dip, right? Today. Okay. We saw a little bit of action in the morning. The information got deleted for me, but I had it. I was tracking it. If you had Bookmap, then you know I'm not lying to you. And also the link is down below so you can check them out. But again, today, near the end of the day here, more buying pressure. Not as big though, I will say. Yesterday's action was the biggest that we've seen in months. It was the biggest that I've ever seen on Bookmap. And I've been a user for over a year and a half now. But I'm telling you, the action we saw yesterday, I don't believe it was any type of scam or shilling or trap. It looked very real and very aggressive. And today, I would argue, it's been confirmed. Okay. Those positions almost got put underwater. That's why it was so important that we held 12.95, right? As we see today, as we look at the book, as we look at level 2 data, you continue to see brick by brick by brick. We just break through these levels over and over and over. Okay. We got to understand that as you look here, I mean, just over and over and over and over till we reach highs. This is what we love to see. Then as we bounce back and we come and look at what's happening with flow, take a look at SPY, take a look at Qs. Again, what are we looking at here? What are we looking at this with the volume, the flow coming in? Again, nothing too big, guys. It's interesting that we're getting those big buys, but we're not even seeing large hedges coming in on SPY. Now, what do we know right now? What do we know? We know with this market right now, sorry, I had to sneeze, I'm not gonna lie, but we know right now that we're getting the April chain is very bullish, right? Go look at what's happening with the SPY options flow. Go specifically the chain of in the money contracts, even into May. It's pretty interesting. Qs, etc. Right? IWM is probably where they're taking most of their hedging for those positions, right? IWM, and even today, not that bad. Not that bad. We're going to look at the IWM chart here in a second, but it's not that bad. We go a little one step deeper with a little bit more. Qs, right? The strongest area. Again, October, December. You want to see the shorter dated contracts for that immediate pressure. That's what we want to see. And as we look at this, I'm telling you, it's not too many signs of concern. Now, that does not mean going back to the chart that you have to break out, but it's telling me that funds are looking at the opportunity, measuring the risk and the reward, and saying that the most reward is to the upside from this point. They have their stop set. We've already been on a great run. If you look at where we're at and how we've been moving really quick, going back into like something like the 2 hour, you look at this move, you know, it's been beautiful. Just higher lows, higher highs, right? You're just riding the trend. You got those stops here. You started trailing them, right? You started trailing them, and now you're moving how you want to. You love what you see. Right? That's what the big money's doing here. They're not flipping short yet. You know when you flip short? When you start to break key levels. You don't jump the gun. That's what we always say. Sit on your hands, sit on your hands, sit on your hands, and let the opportunity come to you first. As we jump into VIX, I do want to say, I think it's the best hedge in the market. Okay? I'm looking really quick at the market right now. I'm like, Jesus, like it's closing. I'm like, oof, what a move, right? What a move. You know, zooming out here on the VIX though, as we look here, full screen. Sorry, it's white. It's going to hurt your eyes, right? As we look here, you're in that zone. This has been the zone for like the past, you know, almost 2 years, 17, 16, basically 16 and 18. It's been a must buy zone on VIX. So what I will say also, if you're looking to hedge, if you're heavy into position, I'm not heavy into positions yet. Okay, I've been day trading, been doing my thing, and giving you a visual here. I don't want to lie to you. I want to be transparent with you guys. I'm going to bring it up real quick for you. I like to be a man of the people, if you will. Looking at what's happened today, what do we look for? Boom, ascending triangles across the board. Qs, SPY. What do we tell them? Boom, shakalaka. Get pushed up right off of it around 11 all the way into the end of the day. SPY did the same damn thing. Beautiful, beautiful. What else did we trade? Out of the gate this morning, we said, look, Apple, Google was a lackluster one. I'm not going to lie to you, but it still made a little bit of money. But if we look, what was the play? Apple, you started busting through, and I'm not talking about en mi pantalones. If we look at what's happening, you started busting through, and then guess what? We said, look, it's an immediate buy. You got to do it. You're already above your key level. You got room to 163, then 167. It's easy money sniper. 165 calls, about $1. Now, you did start moving quicker, so even if you got in a little bit later, about 115, what do these run to? By the end of the day, these contracts, I'm looking at them, they're at 243 at close, right? So there's money to be made in this market. Even when you're trying to trade right now with some of this market and force for some of these plays, they're still there for you, okay? Now, when we look, I'm looking at hedges and things along those lines. VIX is the hedge opportunity, okay? So this is the daily chart going all the way back to 2021. You know, you've bounced almost every time here. Okay. Last time we were here was back, beginning of March. Bank crisis just shot up, right? Coincidence? I don't know. But that's what I will say there is that we're right back there. So again, very interesting. You got to be watching. You got to be watching this level here. Now, again, I know everyone's gonna be like, Tyler, oil, Tyler, oil. I agree. This is bad. This is a longer term. I'm not going to do it this video. I'm not going to go over it right now. But oil is bad news bears. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. It's like the New York Jets when they had to face the Patriots in the AFC Championship. It's like you knew what Tom Brady was going to do to you. Sorry, Mark Sanchez. And that's just the way that it is. Okay, so with oil, as it rises up, next CPI report, next PPI report, next inflation report coming out, you got to be concerned. Okay, we are very concerned about this. But I live life a quarter mile at a time, as my man Vin Diesel said. So again, before I leave you, what do we need to know? Going into tomorrow, bank earnings, UNH, United Healthcare and the bank earnings. If they come out decent, if they show resolve, and it's really the outlook. It's not even really the earnings report. It's the outlook of future, the concerns, the worry, capital on hands. That's what we need to be looking at. If that comes out good, the money's bet on the upside, boys. The money's bet on the upside. I'm talking Aaron Rodgers, Hail Mary versus Detroit Lions. It's not even a Hail Mary because we got Aaron Rodgers and he's double checking it all the way up. That's what we're interested in. That's what we want to see. But again, we got to be defensive until we get that report. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I can't wait to kill it in the morning with you as well. Let's go, traders.